This, to me, was the worst decision of the two-year session. For this reason, if you're trying to help people get jobs in this economy, what's one of the things that we found was that 45% of all new jobs are going to require a college education. So you want to help kids get a college education. Well, what's the cheapest place in North Carolina to get a college education? Community colleges. What's the cheapest way to borrow money if you need to? And the average age for a community college student is 29. So, you know, if you want to borrow money through the federal loan program at 3.4%, rather than going to a bank at 12 to 18%, or rather than putting it on your credit card at 18%. And so, you know, we were shocked at the Center for Public Policy Research to find out 3 years ago that only 20 of the 58 community colleges offered federal loan programs to their students. Worked with Republican sponsor in the Senate, Democratic sponsor in the House to get legislation passed to require that in 2010, with $19 million to help beef up the financial aid offices so that people wouldn't be told to do something without the money. Everything seemed to be going smooth, and all of a sudden this turned from a bipartisan or nonpartisan issue into a highly partisan issue with the mantra of let's do local control. Well, the state puts up 70% of the money for community colleges, so it has the right to have some voice in what's offered there. And Governor Perdue vetoed a bill by the Republican majority in 2011 that would have allowed all 58 community colleges to opt out of offering federal loans. And that bill, that veto stood for a year and 2 months. And that's what I was referring to earlier in terms of a veto garage. You just sort of hold it over here until you've got the votes. And in a highly, I think, questionable move, eventually they had the votes to override that veto a year and 2 months later. And so now, today is, well, as the day that they passed that override, 40 of the 58 community colleges were already offering federal loan programs to their students. So I don't know whether all will go back, but we do legally have the potential that we could go from 40 to 0 in terms of the number of community colleges that offer loans. And I just think that's a travesty for the kids in community college trying to get money to pay for an education.